God bless Doug Poppa, an honest cop.
See, we did it, Doug. You don't come out, you don't buck the system. No matter what the reason is, you just can basically keep your mouth shut.
The high price one cop is paying for telling the truth.
Welcome, folks, to the Doug Poppa podcast from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is episode 163 for Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. The topic of today's podcast is an update on now retired Las Vegas Metro Vice Sergeant Sean Lucero. And I broke the story about Sean Lucero on Twitter, on my X account, a few weeks back. We'll get into that. This is a Facebook photo that I obtained from 2023, I believe. It's from Facebook. That is Sean Lucero. And I'm going to play a short excerpt. It's from the podcast I did about 2-3 podcasts back. It's just a short excerpt about the Lucero investigation and how I came about learning about it. On August 16th, I posted this also on X. I posted that on X, and I said, breaking, LVMPD vice scandal, sources, vice sergeant on suspension for alleged criminal misconduct involving massage parlors retired this week during probe. Vice detective involved with pimp under investigation is married to an LVMPD officer, and vice lieutenant transferred out because of the scandal. And then you can see the bottom part of that on the screen on the right-hand side. On August 17th, I posted exclusive update. Multiple LVMPD sources have confirmed to the Doug Poppa podcast that the vice sergeant who retired while under investigation is Sean W. Lucero, Lucero. And then I put on there, retiring shouldn't negate criminal charges, sources said. And then on September 6th, I updated that. I said, breaking news update. LVMPD sources confirmed to the Doug Poppa podcast that the female vice detective is Catherine Montalban Benzine, Benzine. Benzine is currently on administrative leave, sources say. Sources say a search warrant was executed on Sergeant Lucero's residence prior to him retiring. Okay, that gives you a little synopsis of the Lucero incident. And before I move on with Mr. Lucero, I mentioned there that the lieutenant was transferred out of Vice because of the scandal, and that lieutenant was Las Vegas Metro Police Lieutenant Brian Boxler. Now, before I continue on with Sean Lucero, let's get some of these things here up on the screen here. Okay, and what you're looking at on the screen is a post from my X account, formerly Twitter, that I posted on October 13, 2024 this year at 10:23 in the morning. And I said exclusive breaking news update. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Lieutenant Brian T. Boxler was arrested early Sunday morning, October 13, 2024, and booked into the Clark County Detention Center for domestic violence by strangulation, felony. Sources confirmed to the Doug Poppa podcast that Boxler strangled his wife during an argument. She survived the attack. Sources say Boxler was uncooperative with responding officers. Allegedly, his 2 minor children were home at the time. LVMPD sources confirmed that Boxler was transferred out of the vice section because of the scandal. Boxler was Sergeant Sean Lucero's immediate supervisor. And then later that day, on October 13th, I posted this on my X account. And this was at later in the afternoon. And I said, update. 3 hours after the Doug Poppa podcast broke the news about the arrest of LVMPD Lieutenant Brian Boxler, the LVMPD Public Information Office issued this press release. And I say additional exclusive information. A police source told the Doug Poppa podcast that Boxler refused to leave his house until the area command captain arrived on the scene. After speaking to the captain, Boxler surrendered peacefully. And then up on the screen there, you see the press release, and it says, on October 12, 2024, LVMPD Lieutenant Brian Boxler was arrested and booked into the Clark County Detention Center for domestic violence by strangulation. And then it goes on to say that Boxler has been employed with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department since 2008. He is assigned to the Community Safety Division of the Summerlin Area Command. Boxler will be placed on suspension of police powers with pay pending further investigation. And like I said, he was transferred out of the vice section and then was put into the Summerlin Area Command. So that's the press release that was released. And then I posted this on my X also on the same day. And this was a screenshot that I got. It's from 2019 from a news segment from KLAS TV, 8 News Now. And that's Lieutenant Brian Boxler, like I said, in a 2019 screenshot from a news broadcast they did out here. Okay, and let's get back to Sean Lucero. I posted this on X on October 11th of 2021. And you all know when I get information, I usually put it out as soon as I can once it's vetted on my X, formerly Twitter account, at Doug Poppa 1 or Doug Poppa Podcast. Okay, I put this out on October 11th, like I said, 1:14 in the afternoon. And I said exclusive update. An LVMPD source sent this screenshot to the Doug Poppa podcast. Allegedly, Sean Lucero changed his social media profile picture to this photo of Eggs Benedict around the same time the arrest warrant was issued for his arrest. The insinuation being that Lucero was irate that one of his colleagues had turned on him, sources said. The smiley face emoji at the bottom is that of retired LVMPD officer Richard Chavez. Another source with knowledge of the investigation revealed the name of the vice detective to the Doug Poppa podcast who first reported Lucero. I will not be releasing the name at this time. Lucero's wife works as a civilian employee of the LVMPD, and Lucero was a vice detective years ago, sources say. And I'm not going to release the name of the vice detective who I was told had first turned him in. But that may change. I said this on I think the last podcast. If I find out that this detective is being retaliated against either by management and the brass and/or colleagues, because regardless of what this corrupt cop, admitted thief, and you'll hear that in a couple of minutes, he disgraced his badge, and this is typical mentality that you have with these corrupt cops. Is when they get caught, the first one that they want to blame is who turned him in, especially if it's another cop. Well, cops should turn dishonest police officers in. That's what you do when you take an oath. The corrupt cop is the one who destroyed his reputation. He disgraced his badge, his profession, and the department. So you do the right thing. And this detective that first turned him in did the right thing. And obviously, Lucero is upset about it. But that's just too freaking bad. Okay, and that's the mentality of these people. Just like criminals when they get turned in, who ratted, who ratted me out, who talked to the cops. Same mentality with corrupt cops. They're no different. So let's move on. Okay, I'm going to have the charges. The declaration, the 2-page criminal complaint I'll read, but then there's 22 pages on the declaration of arrest. Now, I'm not going to read all 22 pages. I'll have it going across the screen. I'm just going to read some excerpts so you get an idea of how they led the investigation led to the arrest of Sean Lucero. And the investigation was done by the lead detective is Taylor Tolliver, and she's a detective with the Las Vegas Metro Criminal Intelligence Section, and was also assisted by Criminal Intelligence Detective Derek Jappy. And if you remember from the trial of the Las Vegas Review-Journal reporter, Jeff Gearman, that was killed, you heard their testimony there during the trial of the suspect, and I ain't going to mention his name. He's in prison now, so that's where he belongs. Okay, let me get this charges rolling across the screen, and I'll say what I have to say here. Okay, I'm reading from the 2-page criminal complaint. In it just basically says the state of Nevada versus Sean Lucero criminal complaint that the defendant above named within the county of Clark, state of Nevada, on or about May 23, 2024, committed one or more of the following crimes as follows, to wit: comprehensive theft, value $1,200 or more, but less than $5,000, Category D felony, violation of NRS 205-0835, and oppression under color of office, gross misdemeanor, violation of NRS 197-200. Then we'll go, says count 1, comprehensive theft, value $1,200 or more, but less than $5,000. Sean Lucero did on or about May 23, 2024, willfully, knowingly, feloniously, and without lawful authority, commit theft of a wallet and contents and or U.S. currency having a maximum approximate value of $5,000, having a value of more than $1,200 but less than $5,000, belonging to I Ting, if I'm saying the last name right, Lai, L-A-I, and or Wan Du, D-U, under one or more of the following theories of liability: by controlling the property with the intent to deprive Lai and Du of the property, and or obtaining the real, personal, or intangible property or services by a material misrepresentation with the intent to deprive Lai and Du of the property or services, by entering into the Win Spa, W-I-N Spa, located at 3536 Win Road, and the pretense of securing the scene in anticipation of a search warrant and or seizing evidence within plain view thereafter. Defendant seized, documented, and impounded approximately $6,780, when in truth, in fact, defendant sees U.S. currency having a maximum approximate value of $12,000. Defendant thereby keeping and converting for his own use U.S. currency having a maximum approximate value of $5,000. He, defendant, additionally taking a wallet and its contents. And then count 2 is the oppression under color of office. And basically it says here, Sean Lucero did on about May 1st, 2023, willfully, unlawfully, and maliciously, while acting as an officer or pretending to be an officer and acting under pretense of color of official authority. And then it goes into a bunch of charges. This is the theft that they're talking about. By entering into the Wynn Spa located at 3536 Wynn Road under the pretense of securing the scene in anticipation of a search warrant and or seizing as evidence within plain view. And then it's the same bottom part as what I just read. So that's the one charge they had on him for felony theft. And then they had the oppression under color of office. Now I'm going to read some of the I think all those pages have gone across the screen. If you want to go back and look at them, it should start looping here in a second. Then I'll post what I'm looking at here. Okay. This is from page 10, and I'll get it up on the screen for you here while I'm reading it. And it says ATM deposits following operation. On May 29, 2024, approximately 6 days after the massage parlor operation at Wynn Spa, Lucero deposited $1,795 into his Clark County Credit Union bank account using an ATM located at 2625 North Tenaya Way, Las Vegas, Clark County, Nevada. The deposit was made in 2 separate transactions occurring 3 minutes apart. Now, the first deposit at 14:28 hours totaled $1,120 and had the denominations of 56 $20 bills. The second deposit at 14:31 hours totaled $675 and had the denominations 19 $5 bills, notes, 10 $10 notes, 24 $20 notes. And then it says your declarant, who's Detective Taylor Tolliver, obtained video surveillance photographs from the Clark County Credit Union showing Lucero making the ATM deposits. That's what you see here up in the screen. The photographs are depicted below. I give my comment here as I go along, and I'll say not such a bright thing to do is to steal money, that he's being accused of stealing the money, and then depositing it into your ATM account, and it's leave a trail. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, I'm going to put page 20 up on the screen. Like I said, there's 22 pages. There's a lot of investigation going on with this, but I'm just reading these excerpts that gets you an idea of what happened. Then we're looking at page 20, and it says, now on some of the search warrants, they say in the declaration of arrest that Lucero had his personal cell phone attached to his vest or something and is recording on his personal cell phone some of these searches that he was doing in these spas when he was going in while doing the search warrant. This is one excerpt relating to that. It says at approximately 6.5 minutes, meaning into this video, remember they got a search warrant, they seized his personal cell phone, and they looked into it, they did a forensic analysis, and that's how they came up with this. So I'll start over again. At approximately 6.5 minutes, Lucero determines they will be arresting one female employee. The determination to arrest the female instead of issuing her a citation was due to her having been previously cited by Vice for related crimes. The recording continues with what sounds like objects being manipulated and drawers opening. Lucero states, quote, on the recording, "This bitch ain't got no ID. How's this bitch ain't got no fucking ID?" Unquote. To which there is no response. A female with a heavy Asian accent is heard attempting to explain she has no identification with her, but it is issued from New York. There is the distinctive sound of Lucero opening/closing zippers multiple times and moving items. At one point, a male asks Lucero if the LVMPD buy money was recovered, and Lucero replies yes, but explains he's, quote, looking for a passport, unquote. It should be noted the female who was under arrest was recognized and previously cited by detectives on scene, meaning the female was already identified and there was no need to obtain her passport. Furthermore, detectives attempting to identify any other employees is not a valid exception to the search warrant requirement. And what happened with this before is they had an undercover vice detective go in and to get the massage, and then they elicited the sex, and that's where the crime came in. So that's when they're talking about the LVMPD buy money. The detective had given the buy money to the girl, and that's when they went in, when they cleared the scene. And then I'll read the definition of clearing. Clearing is a common term in law enforcement used to refer to the tactical process of securing rooms and buildings, establishing control over an area in order to ensure it's safe for further action or investigation. And it'll continue on here at the bottom, and it says, nonetheless, noises of Lucero opening doors, moving items, unzipping bags, and what is plainly the sounds of searching continues. It is apparent from Lucero's footsteps and doors opening, he moves from room to room, conducting his illegal search. When Lucero speaks to other detectives, he has to shout, indicating the other detectives are not within the same room and he is alone in the search. At 14 minutes and 10 seconds into the recording, there are noises of a drawer or container of some sort opening, followed by the sound of what your declarant believes is Lucero counting multiple notes of money. At one point, there is the sound of car keys, Lucero saying, quote, let's see if this is our car, unquote, him walking, clicking what is presumed to be a key fob, and a car honking. Lucero then states he's not going to open the car, but wanted to look into the windows. And again, they're getting this from his cell phone recording that he had somewhere on his vest while he was recording what he was doing. Again, I'll comment here in a second. And then it goes on and says, towards the end of the video, Lucero dramatically sighed, gave the sound of a sigh, while saying, quote, fucking bitches, unquote. Shortly thereafter, a detective on the radio advises Lucero he's going to call him, and Lucero ends the recording. So this bright guy recorded on his cell phone apparently what I get out of this portion here of him stealing money. Good move. And sounds more like a pimp than a cop calling the women bitches. But that's my opinion. Okay, now I'm going to put up page 17 on the screen here, and I'll read page 17. And like I said, there's 22 pages, and they did multiple, different locations that they had during this investigation, but they came up with the one charge only because it's hard to go back and do these investigations, and a lot of these girls in these illegal massage parlors, legal massage parlors, but they're doing illegal prostitution. They move around, and it says that in the 22 pages. Some of them don't want to testify against the police because they're afraid. So you got a little synopsis there, what's going on. Now we're on page 20, and it says 3 hours into the interview, Detective Jaffe, that's Derek Jaffe, also from the criminal intelligence section, like I stated earlier, explained to Lucero that now this is when I believe they're at his house. They're going to execute a search warrant at his house, but they're talking to him. I believe that's where this is coming from. So Detective Jaffe explained to Lucero that he did not have to answer the question, or he could just nod his head yes or no. If he wanted to, and asked Lucero If we were right with our belief, Lucero stole money from massage parlors. Lucero affirmatively nodded his head, indicating, yes, he did steal money from massage parlors. Lucero went on to explain that he was under a lot of stress. Lucero was asked if stealing cash helped him financially. He stated, quote, "Not really. I mean, anger, just doing these ops, it sounds like a cop-out, just the frustration of going out there all the time, doing the same, don't fucking like. I am fucking sick of massage parlors, bro. Fucking nothing ever happens. Trying to put cases on this stuff. Going in there, putting at risk all the time. And then like Boxler, he's telling me to do these other ops, but I can't, but I can't run the female every day on pimps." He's talking about undercover operations here. He's telling me to do these other ops, but I can't, but I can't run the female every day on pimps. They get burned out. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to say the word anger, but like financially, I just don't like it. It's not me, dude. I am shitting on, I believe these are his partners, his colleagues he's talking about, Ty, Thai, Gil, Contreras. That's not my character, unquote. Lucero further stated he believed he stole from massage parlors between 10 to 12 occasions. Lucero stated he stole because, quote, "In that moment, the frustration I was going through, seeing my bills and stuff like that, just stressed the fuck out. I felt like somebody owed me something because I was like, what the fuck, man? Financially, I was like, fuck, man," unquote. Lucero then stated, quote, "I then, I was like, I got to stop. This is not good. I don't need this shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to. It's not me. I don't want to go out there with like 3 guys and working with Novotny, Novotni, doing massage parlors. I kept putting myself in that situation. I'm like stirring away from Joe because he wanted to do more massage parlors, on board with all the stuff. I don't want to go on doing massage parlors. I'm done. But there was nothing else to do." Then it goes on, it says, Lucero continued to say, quote, "This is not who I am. I feel like I'm shitting on my buddies. I'm shitting on the badge, and I didn't come this far in my career to go out this way," unquote. Lucero further stated, "I have always been a big believer in owning up to your shit and falling on the sword. I just fucked up on that. I regret it," unquote. Lucero then stated he believed he took around, quote, 10 altogether, unquote, referring to $10,000. Lucero was asked what he did with the cash, if he kept it, and stated, quote, "No, I just deposited it into the ATM," unquote. When Detective Jaffe asked if he recalled the names of the massage parlors he stole from, Lucero responded, quote, "To be honest with you, Jaffe, I've done so many, the fucking names I don't even know," unquote. Okay, I'm going to go to this last page here. This is the conclusion of the Detective Taylor Tolliver's on the declaration, and this is where she sums everything up for the judge, for the magistrate. And she says, conclusion, your declarant received information alleging Lucero was conducting a high number of massage parlor operations, conducting searches during the operations, and while doing so, located and stole cash from the businesses. Through the course of this investigation, this information was confirmed. Since Lucero's assignment to Vice, he conducted massage parlor operations at a significantly higher frequency than historical statistics of the section. Lucero had first-hand involvement in the operations and conducted searches of the businesses, specifically in locations presumed stolen money was kept. Win Spa, WIN, is a business who reported a theft occurred during an operation Lucero was present at. wherein U.S. currency was stolen. Lucero's banking records revealed a high number of cash deposits with no identifiable source. Numerous cash deposits corresponded with dates when Lucero conducted massage parlor operations, and video surveillance shows Lucero making the deposits. Lucero confessed to unlawfully stealing money while on duty from massage parlors on 10 to 12 occasions for an estimated amount of $10,000, which he deposited into his personal bank account. This investigation has revealed since transferring to Vice, Lucero has made approximately $37,160 in cash deposits, all of which there is probable cause to believe are proceeds from his criminal activities. Lucero did enter business establishments while acting under the authority of a public officer and did willfully, without lawful authority, take U.S. currency totaling an amount of $25,000 or more, but less than $100,000 in violation of NRS 205-0835 theft. These actions unlawfully and maliciously, under color of official authority, did seize another person's property and cause the person, property, or rights of another to be injured in violation of NRS 197-200.2b, oppression under color of office. Wherefore, the declarant prays that a warrant of arrest be issued for suspect Sean Lucero on the charges of theft and oppression under color of office. I declare under penalty of perjury under the law of the state of Nevada that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed the 17th day of September 2024, signed Las Vegas Metro Police Department Detective Taylor Tolliver, P number 15003. Get back on the screen here. So there we have it, folks. Now, on September 26th, Lucero was booked into the Clark County Detention Center. It was called a walk-through booking, which means they allowed him to walk through, and then he was released on his own recognizance, had to post no bail. And then on this Thursday coming up, October 31st, there's a hearing, a negotiations hearing at 9:30. Is it 9:30 here? 8:30 a.m. in front of Judge Amy Cellini, and that's a negotiations hearing. So he's out on no bail, and they gave him that preferential treatment, I guess, because he's a cop. The walkthrough booking means exactly what it is. You're going to go through the Clark County Detention Center. They're just going to process you, take your photo, the prints, and then you're going to be walked right out, and you don't have to post any bail. So I guess that's one of the things you get for being a police officer out here. You can get special treatment, or if that's why they did it. But listen, I don't have any, sympathy for this guy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you disgrace your badge, especially for money, for personal gain. You destroyed your reputation, and another black mark on your police department when this stuff happens, and it's a freaking disgrace. And upcoming podcast, I'm reading the 400-500 pages of the transcript, the grand jury transcript that I acquired for Las Vegas Metro Police Sergeant Kevin Meenan. I broke that story, and the news picked up on it when he was arrested, and that relates to the false arrest on the strip. There's a couple hundred pages of grand jury testimony. I find some of it rather interesting, and I'll be talking about that on an upcoming podcast. And then at the beginning of the podcast, I posted, let me get that up on the screen here. This is the unsolved 2016 double homicide of Sidney Land and Nehemiah Kaufman. Their bodies were found on October 27th of 2016 in their Southwest Las Vegas apartment, both shot in the head. The case is unsolved, 8 years as of the 27th of this month, and allegations of police corruption and negligence, incompetence, and a cover-up have surrounded this case, ladies and gentlemen, for years. And as you all know, if anybody's been following me, I've been investigating and reporting on this unsolved double murder since January of 2019. Started doing that when I was writing for the Baltimore Post-Examiner, and then I've continued that on my podcast as multiple episodes, and I did multiple interviews and worked with Connie Land, who's now deceased. She took her own life in August 10th of 2022, and that was Sydney's mother. And the case is unsolved, and it's a freaking mess. Police officers from outside of Nevada who's taken a look at this stuff. There's a lot of problems that happen and a lot of stuff that just boggles the imagination. But be talking more about that also in upcoming episodes. So there we have it. That's Sean Lucero again. And get him up here. Get him out of there. And I think we have the this over here. And again, I talked about this. That's what you're worried about as a cop when you get arrested. But you think that Benedict Arnold was one of your colleagues that turned you in. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, Eggs Benedict was not named after Benedict Arnold, but a lot of people believe it is, and that was the insinuation here, that one of his colleagues had turned him in and that he's upset about it. Well, he should be upset about what he did and destroyed his reputation and disgraced the badge and his colleagues and the department. So enough of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're 36 minutes here. Got a lot more stuff coming out. Every time I do these podcasts, I break news. I get more information from police sources and other sources. So we'll have that on upcoming episodes. And thanks for listening. I think I said everything I want to say on this one. And we'll see you on the next one.
If I wouldn't do it all over again, I would take the badge and I would leave it on somebody's desk and get out of police work.
One man who confronted truth and consequences.